engines too. The do-it-yourselfers and the pros say Carter Automotive is the place to go. For sound advice, the brand you like, the professional's choice is true. Carter Automotive, Carter Automotive, we're parts to you.
Good morning. We welcome you to Carter Automotive, Ask the Expert. And with us today, we have a special in-studio guest. We have Tim Key. Hi, Tim. How are you?
Hi, John. How's it going? I don't know about the expert part.
Well, more so than me. I do have to tell this story. Being mechanically inclined or not inclined the way I am, I once had a pickup truck that was running perfectly fine that I thought, well, if I tune it up, I can get better gas mileage. And 6 months later, I got it started again.
Oh, well. That's a great start.
But I know you're much more. That makes you an expert.
Well, I would hope so. I come from a technical family, but I was the only non-technical one in the bunch. So starting out at the age of 14 in the world of auto parts, I had to learn to become technical pretty fast.
Yeah, you've been around it for a long time.
I have, and I think I've picked up a few tips over the years, and I certainly have picked up many ideas and skills since working at Carter Automotive.
Well, good.
That's a fact.
Hope you'll share some of those with us this morning. You know, it's weather's kind of odd. You know, it's kind of balmy out there.
Well, if it wasn't for the fog, I think we wouldn't have any room to complain at all. It's so nice out.
That's right. But we have had our share of cold weather, which reminds me, winter is right around the corner, and that colder weather means some different things. What are some of the type of things that people need to be thinking about as far as winterizing their car and prepping themselves for that cold weather?
Well, you know, in the last two instances of cold weather that we had, it's like a giant switch had been turned, and it got cold suddenly very fast. And the time before last was when we had a bit of snow, if you'll remember.
Yeah,
it came up quite suddenly, and I found myself on the road to Bartlesville driving in the snow, and as usual, every year I have to kind of retrain myself how to drive in the snow, and that was kind of a crash course. But as I was driving to Bartlesville, I got to thinking about how prepared I was personally. I thought, well, if I went off the road, what would I do? I mean, if I had to wait here for some period of time for help, what would I do? Would I be prepared? And you know what? I don't think I was. So I started thinking about preparedness and personal preparedness in an automobile, and then also ways of preparing your vehicle. Now, what I was thinking about as far as in your automobile, I think it's a good idea to have water in your car.
Good point.
During inclement weathers, you know, when you can break down and have to be waiting along the side of the road for a long period of time, you might get a little thirsty. And I don't know about you, but the last time I tried drinking antifreeze, it just wasn't very...
Tastes great, but...
It looks good. It looks better than it does.
You know, that's a good point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's not something I would have thought of, and dehydration can be a very serious problem.
Exactly, especially if you're out of the car trying to get unstuck, you work up kind of a sweat, you could get kind of dehydrated very quickly.
Now, you know, we may not have that here, but back in the 70s, I went to college up in Ohio. In the mid-70s, a blizzard came through, dumped almost 4 feet of snow overnight, ungodly winds, and there were stretches of the interstate, I-70 to be exact, where National Guard could not get to people for 3 days.
Oh, it can happen.
And, you know, without supplies, they were in serious trouble.
Oh, 4 years ago, driving to Spears, of all places, not very far away on a clear day, but at night during a blizzard with my windshield wipers icing up, I was a little scared.
Yeah.
But anyway, that can happen. Another thing I was thinking about, you know, a lot of our cars have glove boxes, but I wonder how many people actually keep gloves in their glove box. I really think a pair of gloves this time of year is a good idea.
Good point.
And once again, gloves, we have them down at Carter Automotive. We can fix you up on that.
Okay. Would you take the 40 or 50 pens that I have in my glove box and dump them somewhere for me?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way mine is, too. It's all full. I think I've got about 20 expired registrations in my glove box. The last but not least on as far as being personally prepared in your car is perhaps not a bad idea, especially if you have a family, is warm blankets. Some way to keep warm in case you broke down in the middle of nowhere or become stuck in the middle of nowhere and it's pretty cold out there. Of course, you can't keep your car running because you could gas yourself real easy that way.
Right.
So warm blankets is, I guess, is my final offering for this subject. Got me also to thinking about, okay, let's move on to preparedness for your automobile, and hopefully by this time, after listening to Darrell, that people have had their antifreeze tested by now. Mm-hmm. This is the time, folks, if you haven't had that done. You can buy an inexpensive antifreeze tester down at Carter Automotive, or you can buy a professional one, but the important thing is to get it done now before that sub-zero weather hits, and you have to find out the hard way.
Exactly.
That your cooling system is not properly protected. Washer fluid. That's another aspect of things that you can do for your car. Normal washer fluid, which is a fine product, is good to about 0 degrees. Mm-hmm. But during the very cold weather months, it's really advisable to have something a little bit more that has a little bit more protection. And at Carter's, we have a product called Purple Power Windshield Washer Fluid.
Okay.
Now, not only is this a great washer fluid for the normal grime on your windshield, it also de-ices and it protects your washer system down to minus 35 degrees.
Wow, that should just about cover any Kansas, Oklahoma weather, I would think.
It's in the purple bottle, folks. It's Purple Power Windshield Washer Fluid, available at Carter Automotive.
You know, one thing about that, too, that makes me think, the de-icing component of it, I always notice in the spring my wiper blades usually need change just from all the ice and so forth in the wintertime. So that could maybe save the life of your wiper blades.
Helps prolong them for sure. One of the hardest things about windshield wiper blades, a little off subject here, is just the inactivity of use during the summertime. As they just sit there inactive, they tend to dry out, mm-hmm. and might be advisable to replace your wiper blades before the season starts, and that would be now.
An easy, cheap fix that, as you say, driving in a blizzard at night between here and Caney on the highway, boy, you'd sure like to have some real good wiper blades.
Exactly. While I'm on the subject of windshield washer fluid, I just remembered we also now stock the Rain-X brand of windshield washer fluids. So anybody out there looking for that, we have the Rain-X brand. Also, you might want to consider a little extra protection with the oncoming season that will produce a lot of ice, is have a can of de-icer in the car. Spray de-icer, available at Carter Automotive. This can help you when your windshield wipers freeze up. Mm-hmm. It can also help you in the morning with cleaning your windshield and your glass on your car. An ice scraper. We've got to make sure we have one of those in the car nowadays.
Absolutely.
And get it out of the trunk where you've been storing it all summer. You're going to need it soon. When is the first day of winter? Is it like
I believe it's the 21st, 20th or 21st of December. So it's a couple weeks away at the most.
It's hard to believe it's not here yet with some of the weather we've had already.
Absolutely. You talk about the de-icer, too. Now, is that the same product or a different product that if you have frozen locks and doors, or is that a different product?
They make that on a smaller scale. We also have the lock de-icer that comes in a small aerosol, more pocket size dispenser, which is made to use in your locks. It's also a preventive measure. It's something you could use when your locks are iced up, but it's also a good idea to squirt some of that into your lock as a preventive measure.
Okay, I did not know that.
So we have that at Carter Automotive as well. As the fuel systems are used in the course of time, they develop moisture in the fuel system. And generally, unless you get a big dose of water at your local gas station, this small amount of water in your fuel system really doesn't hurt anything until we are met with very cold situations, and then that moisture in your fuel system can ice up. Once again, preventative maintenance. We have a product called heat. A lot of people know what that is.
Right.
But heat is a product that you should add routinely to your fuel in this time of year because it's a fuel drying additive. It dissipates the moisture in your fuel system, which is very important and will keep you from icing up when we have severe winter weather.
Okay, now should you add that then each time you fill your tank?
Either each time or every other time. I'd probably say every other time or every third time.
Okay.
You don't want to overdo it, but as long as you have periodic adding of this additive to your fuel system, you'll be in good shape. Don't want to put too much in, but I'd say once with every second or third fill-up.
Okay.
Be a good idea.
That's good advice for someone like me that believes more of everything is better. You know, more cholesterol. Yeah, I'll take another cheeseburger. So good advice. You can't overdo things sometimes.
You can. But de-icer by heat. The diesel drivers out there will want to be particularly sensitive to problems with diesel fuel in cold weather. Diesel fuel will do something called gelling.
Right, I've heard about that, and I've never had a diesel fuel vehicle, but I have heard about the gelling effect of diesel.
It's a product we sell a lot of. We sell a lot of it, ironically, after it turns really cold, but it's a good idea to treat diesel fuel in advance to prevent gelling, to keep that problem at bay. And we have we have a product by Howe, the Howe's Lubricator Diesel Treatment, or we also have the Power Service Diesel Fuel Additive at Carter Automotive.
Okay, very good. You know, Tim, now, we were talking about the start of winter being a couple of weeks away. Well, of course, just a few days after the start of winter is Christmas itself. Now, I've seen you guys on Facebook. I'm a little bit of a Facebook guy, and I know that you've had some really good gift ideas that you've had on Facebook.
I'm so relieved. I thought you were going to ask me about the Santa hat. You know, if you know me, you know I am Father Christmas, and I love the season. So I donned the Santa hat, and so did Carla down there. You're going to see more of that.
I have seen it.
We have a Facebook page, folks. I just wanted to remind you out there. It's if you put in Carter Automotive, you will come up with our Facebook page, and we have 3 or 4 very interesting posts a week. And well, all I can say is I wish we had the Christmas music to cue, because the spirit of Christmas is alive and well at Carter Automotive.
Yes, it is indeed. Like I said, I've actually liked you guys on Facebook, so I see your posts. They come up on my page.
You know, and it's not only the best choice for parts, service, and automotive advice, but Carter Automotive is also your hometown one-stop Christmas gift shopping center. Unique gifts in a unique store. To begin with, well, we got a nice little new item down there. They call them LED safety flares.
Okay.
Now, you remember in the old days, the safety flares that looked like a stick of dynamite. You'd strike the end. You had a fire.
Oh my gosh,
blazing.
Fire!
It was like the 4th of July year round.
Yeah.
This is a little round item made of plastic. Looks a little bit like a red hockey puck, but it's an LED safety flare, and it is surrounded by LED lights. And it has a 50-hour run time. On the back is a swivel hook and a magnet, and it has 5 light patterns that you can change by pressing the button. So say you're broke down, it doesn't take up much space at all. You break down on the road, you get stuck on the side of the road, you can take this item out, stick it on the back of your car, set the LEDs to blinking, and you have a safety device that alerts people to your predicament, that they can steer clear of you and won't run into you.
Exactly. And with 5 different patterns, I imagine you could keep the kids amused as well.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We've been playing with them all week at the store. Of course, as stocking stuffers, we have safety glasses in many styles and shades. We have a great selection of gloves.
Well, you mentioned gloves, too.
Yeah.
Something you should have in your glove box.
We have gloves for winter. We have cowhide work gloves, jerseys, knit gloves, driving gloves, mechanics gloves. We even have PVC hazardous material gloves that are very helpful on that Christmas morning.
Wow.
Okay, now, the biggest item we have this year, and the thing we're most proud of, with the Christmas season in mind, we have a very special toy, which you can see me holding up on the Facebook page. But it's the Poolin' Wild Thing chainsaw kit.
I've seen that.
Now, this is a toy chainsaw kit, and it comes with gloves, a hard hat, and a battery-operated toy chainsaw that makes sounds and everything.
Okay.
Once again, another item that we've had a lot of fun playing with.
And I imagine the youngsters would too. I mean,
yes.
just like Dad.
The kit retails for $19.95, but
great price.
But we're offering for anyone who buys $50 or more worth of merchandise, we're going to sell this toy kit for $10.95.
Oh wow,
that's
half price almost.
$10.95. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Oh, of course, we've got the bumper hitch vise by Wilton.
I've seen that one on there as well.
This item has been flying off the counter. We've been doing very well with it. This is a vise that fits on the bumper hitch of a pickup truck, and for the working man in mind, it's a good item to have, and we've been selling a lot of them lately. Of course, we've got tool sets, battery chargers, shop lights, flashlights, and once again, come to our Facebook page at Carter Automotive and check out our weekly offerings that we have for you.
And I might suggest that folks just friend you on their own Facebook page so that they can see your regular posts, your ideas. I've always found it pretty useful. They pop up there and they're timely, they're convenient, and good advice. So
well, thank you, John.
I recommend that to
We've
folks.
been having a lot of fun doing it too, and kind of a new world for us, but we've been enjoying it and discovering it.
Well, very good. Well, Tim, anything else, or are we pretty much wound up for the day?
That's about it. I just want to say that, we've been around this town for 90-some-odd years, helping people, grinding them gears. We're the best-kept secret in this old town. You got to come and see our deals go down at Carter's. That's Carter's. We're Carter's. Carter's Automotive in Coffeyville. Thanks, John.
Tim, thank you.